My name is Fraschilla, and I decided to focus on athletes with mental illness. So when I got accepted to the program, I sat down with Carrie Brown and Marissa Sorio, and I sat there and I droned on and on and on about, like, this is what I've done, this is what I want to do. What community do you want to focus on? I was like, health and wellness, sure, cool, awesome. And Carrie looked at me with a smile and she said, we've never had anyone focus on health and wellness before. So I was like, I know that this is where I belong. So mental illness community is a very, very, very important community to me. I'm a competitive powerlifter, but I also suffer from depression and anxiety. So I know the issues that come along with this. So what is this? What is crushing PRs? A PR is a personal record or a personal best. Athletes crush those in the gym, in their swim meets, in their running races. It's a big deal. So Crushing PRs is a Medium publication dedicated to athletes, by athletes, for athletes, stories profiling them, sharing resources, and really just sharing the stories. So if these athletes celebrate their physical PRs, why don't we celebrate the mental ones as well? So what's the problem? 1 in 5 Americans in the United States suffer from mental illness according to the National Alliance of Mental Illness. So the stigma is pretty high. Athletes are meant to be strong physically and mentally, so asking for help is few and far between. So how do we solve this? We defeat the stigma, we start the conversation. Who are we targeting? Athletes, ball stature, professional, collegiate, amateur, disabled, any race, gender, age, sport, it doesn't matter. But we're not just targeting those athletes. We're targeting their coaches. We're targeting their family members. We're targeting their athletic trainers, their teachers, faculty, staff, anyone that's with these people day to day so they know how to help them. So what now? Let's start the conversation. Let's talk to the community, talk to the professionals. Let's just talk. So how do we reach these athletes? We don't just walk into a gym and say, hey, who's depressed? Let's talk. Social media, every platform, medium.com, which had 1.26 million views in the last 6 months, YouTube series, vloggers, Instagram videos, personal essays. I realized that in order to show my community who I am, I need to relate to them and show them that I understand that their troubles are important. And surveys, it's Social J, we gotta listen. What do they actually want to know about? How many of you have a social media profile? Yeah, every hand should be up. So 81% of the US population has a social media profile, and this is the main place I've had success reaching amateur athletes. Whether it's searching hashtags like Fitspiration or powerlifting or track and field or just coming across them on the Explore page, this is where I've seen the most, I guess, traction. So who's Bradley Martin? He is a 6'3" behemoth. He deadlifts over 700 pounds. He's very big in the health and wellness industry. He's a bodybuilder. Why is he in a hospital bed? Bradley had a panic attack and thought he was having a heart attack. So he decided to post a 45-minute YouTube vlog after the fact, share this photo, and tell people anxiety is something that everyone deals with. It's no joke. So as you can see, anxiety is a bitch, obviously. And people are commenting, you know, this is very real and I admire it. Thank you for being so honest in a world where people aren't. This is how you make an impact. Sarah Ramadan, she is a bodybuilder, but in 2014 she was on the brink of death from anorexia. Her late brother got her into bodybuilding and showed her a fitness regimen and nutritional guidelines, and she's overcome it and has become a staple in the anorexia recovery movement. As you can see, thank you for sharing this. You're a fighter. You're so beautiful. Can't imagine how much strength it took, but thank you. Allison M. Desir is from Harlem. She's a runner. Her dad passed away, and she was fighting with depression, so she started using the hashtag Find Meaning on the Run, and she started a bunch of running communities and really decided to show people, you know, you're not alone. And as you can see, we're never alone because we run together. Keep being you. So now getting to my Medium publication. I wrote 12 pieces, 2,200 views, 1,100 reads, 51 fans, and my personal Medium has 682 followers. So I got to hit the community pretty hard. I wrote pieces that were investigative, that dealt with student athletes and concussions and their general health and wellness, athlete profiles on powerlifters who struggle with depression. I've talked to a lot of people, and these are just some of the statements of impact and feedback that I received, which was overwhelmingly positive. And then I was also featured on the Sports Walk, which is a YouTube web series that kind of features people that are big in the health and wellness atmosphere and the sporting atmosphere. And I got to talk about sexism in pro sports and mental health awareness for athletes, which was a really, really big deal for me. So 913 views, 30 shares. It was an awesome experience, and it was screened at the 2017 New York City Web Fest. So just a little snippet for you all.
You can have highlights up instantaneously. You can have anxiety or anything like that. So to have an athlete have a season-ending injury, they're not going to be able to play. They're not going to be in the right mindset, but because of the aspect of mental toughness, they don't open their mouths. In order to defeat the stigma, there needs to be more talk about mental health. I think it's super taboo to not talk about it, not open up, when there are so many people going through it.
We should talk about it. So also, my personal essays. In 2017, I made a New Year's resolution, as cliche as it sounds, to be more open and vulnerable about my struggles with mental illness, and I never put my story down on paper. So I decided to sit there and basically pull out every skeleton from my closet and share it with the world. So I shared it on my social media, my friends shared it. I got messages from people from nursery school, elementary school, middle school, high school, college. I got messages from CrossFitters from Florida, from people from Philadelphia, from someone from England. I got messages from all these people that they read my story and they could relate in the sense that, you know, the gym was their solace. They found comfort in the iron, and they were able to work through their mental illness. And I also, actually, I was at a concert last week and I received an email. This girl came across one of my articles about life in grad school with anxiety and depression, and she reached out to me via my personal website and messaged me telling me that I inspired her to get help from a counselor at her school. So it goes to show that, you know, it's not just your community you impact, it's really genuinely everyone. And surveys. I did not know how to reach my community besides social media at first. So I reached out to this Instagram account called Powerlifting Women. They have over 20,000 followers, and they constantly post call outs where they ask people, basically, you know, like they give advice. So I asked them, can you share this for me, and can we ask, you know, if you want to share your story, please, I want to defeat the stigma, let's talk. 1,466 likes later, 56 comments later, and 35 direct messages to my Instagram, I found a pool of people to survey and figure out what they wanted to know. I sent out a survey to 25 people. I got 25 responses. I asked them questions like, how do you think mental illness is covered in the media? You know, what do you want to know more of? When were you diagnosed? What were you diagnosed with? How do you use the gym or your sport to get through it? And then I asked them, what do you want to know? So I got athlete profiles. I got, you know, mental health resources. I want tips from you. I want to hear from pro athletes. I want to hear from this. And that's how I started to create all of my content. And it is a very, very big deal to listen. And that's a Social J thing. That's definitely something that you want to do. You want to know what they want. I could throw out 1,000 articles about things that I want to know about, but if my community doesn't want it, it doesn't matter. So to conclude, I know my presentation was a little heavy, so here's a little meme for you guys. You got anxiety too, or no? No? Okay. And lastly, thank you very much, but I'd like to announce that I was offered, I have accepted, and I've been working at New York Athletic Club for the last 2 months in a social media manager and assistant editor role. So that's pretty awesome. And if you guys want to collaborate or grab a beer or lift or do anything, please reach out. Thank you.